In the vast and untamed territory of North America, there was a place where the expansion of the frontier in the 19th century was not only halted but, for a brief period, even reversed. That place was Texas, and the tribe responsible for this remarkable resistance was the Comanche. More than merely surviving colonization, the Comanche became a dominant force in the region, profoundly shaping the history of the Great Plains. The Comanche warrior culture. From childhood, Comanche boys were trained in hunting and horseback riding, developing skills that made them feared and respected warriors by adolescence. Their mastery of horses was unmatched. No other tribe used them with such skill. With these animals, they hunted buffalo, moved swiftly across their territory, and carried out devastating military raids. Comanche warriors were regarded as some of the most formidable fighters in North America. Their warfare tactics were so effective that, at the height of their power, they devastated neighboring tribes and consistently challenged European colonizers and later American settlers. Their raids were meticulously planned, and their ferocity on the battlefield became legendary. Comanche Wars and their war strategy. The Comanche were known for their warlike nature and the brutality with which they conducted their attacks. Their raids spared no one. Every adult male enemy was killed, as they knew that any survivor could become a future threat. This led other tribes and settlers to fight to the death, knowing that surrender was not an option. Young children were often killed, while those between the ages of 3 and 10 were taken captive. Women were frequently assaulted and also taken as prisoners, subjected to brutal torture, including mutilation and death by fire. This reign of terror forced several tribes to abandon the southern Great Plains, unable to withstand the Comanche onslaught. A notable example was the Tonkawa tribe, which was nearly exterminated by the Comanche. The few survivors allied with the U.S. Army, becoming scouts and helping to track their former tormentors. Long before direct conflicts with Anglo-American settlers, the Comanche had already made life difficult for both the Spanish and other Native American tribes. Their dominance over the plains made them a constant threat, driving the Apache from the region and forcing them to migrate to New Mexico, Arizona, and the far western reaches of Texas. First encounters and conflicts with colonizers. The first recorded encounter between the Comanche and the Spanish occurred in 1758, when a large group of Comanche warriors attacked a Spanish mission built to convert the Apache. In a stunning display of force, approximately 2,000 Comanche warriors stormed the mission of San Saba, annihilating the 35 Spanish soldiers defending it. The attackers were armed with European muskets, spears, bows, and arrows, and wore red and black war paint. The massacre sent a clear message to the colonizers. The Comanche were a formidable force, willing to fight fiercely to defend their territory. Over the following decades, the Comanche continued to launch devastating raids against Spanish settlements and, later, Mexican territories. One of the most notorious attacks was the abduction of Cynthia and Parker, a 9-year-old girl captured during a raid in 1836 in northern Texas. Parker was raised by the Comanche, fully adopting their culture and later marrying a respected chief. Her son, Quanah Parker, would grow up to become one of the last great Comanche leaders, challenging the U.S. Army until the final days of Native American resistance on the Great Plains. Raids on Mexico and the Great Raid of 1840. In the 19th century, the Comanche expanded their raids deep into Mexico, reaching as far as Mexico City. One of their favored tactics was to attack under the full moon, ensuring better visibility for nighttime invasions. The most infamous Comanche attack was the Great Raid of 1840, a retaliatory strike following the massacre of several Comanche chiefs during a failed peace negotiation in San Antonio. In response, around 500 Comanche warriors devastated the towns of Victoria and Linville, killing 25 Texans, looting, and burning settlements along the way. After the American Civil War, westward expansion resumed with full force, but the Comanche remained a formidable obstacle. Their resistance forced many settlers to abandon their lands, temporarily reversing the advance of the American frontier. However, this situation would not last forever. The fall of the Comanche. The final blow to the Comanche came through the destruction of their most vital resource, the buffalo. Settlers and the U.S. Army realized that without the buffalo, the Comanche would have no means to survive. This led to a systematic campaign to exterminate the herds, depriving the Comanche of their primary source of food and materials. The Red River War, 1874 to 1875, marked the last major conflicts between the Comanche and the U.S. Army. Under the command of Colonel Ranald S. Mackenzie, American forces used aggressive tactics to hunt down and defeat the remaining Comanche warriors. In bloody battles, the last groups of resistance were finally subdued and forced to surrender. Eventually, the Comanche were relocated to a reservation in what is now Oklahoma. Their former glory as the lords of the Great Plains had come to an end, but their legacy remains one of the most remarkable in Native American history. The culture, warfare tactics, and influence of the Comanche continue to echo in the study of indigenous resistance against Western colonization. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more videos like this, don't forget to leave a like, share it with your friends, and leave a comment with your thoughts. Your support helps us continue bringing detailed information and fascinating historical content. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.